This is an overview of the Cinderbrew Meadery. Brewmaster Aldyr. There are 3 things to remember for this boss. First, spot heal the dot that targets 2 players at a time. It's not dispellable. Second, use major healing cooldowns at 66 and 33% boss health. Third, when the boss casts his tank buster, he will throw hot honey at a non-tank player. So mind your positioning. Throw Cinderbrew. This is a dot that targets 2 non-tank players. It is a 9-second duration and is cast every 18 seconds, so it's present half of the time. Happy Hour. At 66 and 33% health, the boss jumps to the middle and takes no damage. He calls his patrons, which are adds that cast a spell called Rowdy Yell. Use your major cooldowns for this. Blazing Belch. This is a frontal with a 3-second cast. It gets wider the farther away you are, so stay closer to melee. Keg Smash. This is a tank buster. It's not particularly dangerous. When Keg Smash hits, it will also throw hot honey on someone, and that's a puddle. He throws the hot honey puddle at a non-tank target, and it prefers ranged players. Benk Buzzbee. This is an ad control fight, and there are 3 things to remember. First, use your major healing cooldowns on Fluttering Wing. Second, heal the dot that the bee ads place on individual party members. Third, when the bee ads die, you have to right click on them and then you can fly them through the barrels. And you should try to hit 2 barrels with a single bee if you can. And the fight becomes a lot more difficult if you fail to destroy the barrels, because the barrels respawn the bees. So the bees just build up and build up. Fluttering Wing. This is the main healing ability. It inflicts a large dot over just 2 seconds, so if people aren't topped before it, you won't have much time to heal them up. The bee ads apply a dot called Shredding Sting, and it does damage over 10 seconds. The debuff can stack. Ask anyone with a bleed dispel in your group to dispel players at high stacks. The healing requirement is only a problem when Shredding Sting and Fluttering Wing happen at the same time. Try to use an external on any player with 3 or more stacks of Shredding Sting. Honey Marinade. This is the tank buster. It's not particularly deadly, but it does create a puddle on the floor, and that puddle heals the bee ads. So you should try to knock the bees out of the puddle if your tank isn't moving them, or use another kind of CC to move them. Special healer jobs. The boss summons barrels with an ability called Snack Time. These barrels summon bees every 30 seconds until they're destroyed. So how do you destroy them? Well, when the bees reach 1% health, you can right click on them and that puts you into a vehicle. And when you're in this vehicle, you can target in a straight line to throw the bee forward. And when you hit a barrel with it, it destroys the barrel. And it's a race against the clock, so you want to destroy at least 2 of the barrels before the next Fluttering Wing cast. But when Fluttering Wing is coming out, you need to make sure to top everyone and forget about the bees, just top everyone so that Fluttering Wing doesn't kill everyone. It's much better to leave a barrel alive and then top people for Fluttering Wing than it is to try to get the barrel killed and then not have quite enough time to heal the Fluttering Wing. So there are 3 barrels and you have 3 bees to shoot, but you can hit 2 barrels with a single bee. And a lot of times you only have enough time to mount 2 bees and fire them before it's almost time to Fluttering Wing. So the moment the bees dies, you want to get on that bee, send it, get on the next bee, send it, and then get ready for Fluttering Wing. IPA is the beer boss, and it's an ad control fight with a relatively low healer check. There are 3 main things to remember. First, use your major healing cooldowns on Sprouting Stout. Second, dispel Burning Fulmination on cooldown. Third, kill the little ads before they reach the tank, and ad damage is much more important than boss damage. Sprouting Stout is the main healer ability. It's a dot with an 8-second duration, and it affects the whole party. It also does damage in an area of effect, so you should not stack with other players. Burning Fulmination is a magic ability that affects 2 non-tank players at a time. It lasts 16 seconds, and it can be dispelled. It occurs 7 seconds after the tank buster. Bottom's Uppercut is the tank buster. It knocks the tank back, but it's not particularly dangerous. Special notes. The ads are the most difficult part of the fight. They need to be killed before they reach the boss. If they're not killed fast enough, they will gain a 200% movement speed and will need to be crowd controlled before they die. It's called Frothy. If the ads reach the boss, it's a major time loss. It does some damage to all players and it heals the boss for 20% max HP. Reform. When these ads die, they respawn at full health 20 seconds after they died. So it's a perpetual ad control fight. Buried Bottom is by far the hardest boss to heal. The boss summons 2 types of barrels, and it's the group's job to destroy the barrels before the boss reaches 100 energy, or she'll destroy them herself. Big barrels explode for group-wide damage. Little barrels explode with lava waves and everyone has to dodge. You need to destroy 3 of the 4 big barrels, but you should try to destroy all 4 before she reaches 100 energy. On a higher key, you will wipe if you don't get them all exploded. First, I need to explain how to destroy the barrels. There are 2 ways to destroy the barrels: the tank frontal and the healer dispel. I've looked at a lot of logs and it seems like a 2-1-1 break schedule is the right way to go. To do this, the first tank frontal should always destroy 2 barrels at once. That'll put a substantial dot and you'll have to heal through it, and that's the biggest damage of the fight. Then, you only destroy 1 barrel at a time, and you do that with the healer dispel. That gives the tank some freedom, and he can use his frontal to destroy some of the lava waves so that it's easier to dodge when you get to the intermission. If you follow the 2-1-1 break schedule, the double breaks occur roughly every 1 minute, and that's a lot better for healing cooldowns. With this boss, you control when the damage comes out, so to manipulate it such that you have a 1 minute duration, that's really nice. Crash Cannon. That's the tank frontal. It's really long and really wide. Try not to stand on any of the big barrels until after the tank is broken too, because you want to make sure that the tank can easily get the barrels and you can prep your healing abilities prior to those 2 barrels exploding, because that's the big damage. The second mechanic for destroying the barrels is called Burning Ricochet. It's a 6-second dot that goes on 2 non-tank members. You can instant dispel the first guy, and I would recommend melee because they need more uptime on the boss, and then have the ranged player run over to the big barrel and stand on it so the debuff expires and blows up the big barrel. There are 2 main healing abilities. Cindering Wound is the main damage ability, and it occurs when a big barrel is destroyed by either the tank frontal or the magic debuff. It's a 6-second dot and it stacks. When the boss reaches 100 energy, she casts Let It Hail. It's a 5-second party-wide dot, and when she casts this, she explodes all remaining barrels, including the lava wave barrels. So you'll have to dodge and heal at the same time. Try to use your movement cooldowns for this part of the fight.